Western Rollins. Coming to do a song called JM. Make some noise for Go! Go!
Since Wednesday night, I'm feeling so happy. Since the charge Monday, I feel like if I win the lottery, I could brag and boast, cause all of you know, I am the prophet in Kaiso. Just last year, I did tell all you, they would have locked up his backside for true. These people thief all the money. They vacuum the whole treasury. So if all you're against corrupting, sound your voice, let me hear you say, Panday, the jail is waiting. Panday, all your thief, enough. Corruption in US is too mercy that already. Your father call us next to go. So we abandon ship. We not staying on it. And very slow. Bandeno, bandeno. In the jail you just have to go. You big thief. If your little child come home from school spotting a diamond, you ought to ask the child, where you get that from? And if you will do that and wait until the police come, then the police will carry the whole family down. It doesn't lie too much, but they be afraid to say it. Since when you know that overwork in some way, but you feel that nigga stupidity, shut the dancers don't work for that kind of money. My predictions does always come to pass. I know they don't lock up you. Panday, hey, hey, the jail is waiting. Panday, all you take enough.
A pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
So we're singing that already.
And how are we doing this afternoon? Today being Monday, the 17th day of January 2025. Of February, sorry. Bring back the month by.
This election you got.
So it's Monday, the 17th day of February 2025. The time now is 3 minutes past the hour of 6. You're tuned in to another class in session program. Yours truly, Royalty James. We are here this evening. Tag somebody, share it, let them know that class is in session.
When I see Bass and Ramesh talking like friends, I tell me children, the world coming to an end. Because it's Bass who say Ramesh is Nimakaram, and it's Ramesh who say Bass is laced with corruption. The only thing them two could discuss is which one of them going to jail first. And yet he went to Guyana, buy them back to look for Obia. 300,000 in fish eaten the last month. I know they're a lot of you.
To the persons over on my Facebook page, Errol Bonaparte, good evening. Norbert Roberts, Bev Jackson, good evening. Esther Peters, good afternoon to you. Over on my YouTube page, Janice Mitchell, we met in person. How are you? Marilyn Ferguson, Kathleen Lendell, Faitlin, sorry. Douglas, good evening. Clive Raymond, good evening. Deborah Laborde, JC Cherry, Patsy Frank. Errol Bonaparte is firing from both cylinders. Good afternoon to you. Agnes Henry, good evening.
So much poor people out here catching the linen. Pandy went and buy 2 brand new Mercedes Benz. Lying and saying how he didn't know about it. Putting the blame on his son-in-law Griffith.
Dexter Charles, good evening.
And he hush him on the mouth. He must be doing other things he don't know about. I told him to go and drive in style. Was only for a short while. But oil and gas, polish and thing. I know he had to give it to Patrick. Bandy, the chain was always waiting. Bandy, all you take enough. Corruption in the US is too much, sing that already. You find that Carlos next to go. So we abandon ship. We not staying on it. And very slow. Bandeno. In the jail, boy, you have to go. Bandeno. In the jail, boy, you have to go. Bandeno. In the jail, boy, you have to go. Bandeno. In the jail.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of Western Rollins, the famous Calypsonian there, Crow, coming down with this wonderful selection, Jail Them. Tell you, when I select my tunes nowadays, like they singing for Grenadians, Jail Them. That is what you have to do with some of them right now. Just jail them. Yes, I want to extend a wonderful congratulations to our wonderful ladies. Yes, the ladies of the new National Party. Yesterday, they did show their true colors and they were out at the Trade Center. I made a little visit. I mean, I had to show my face. Yes. So I made a little visit yesterday and the ladies was all proud. And ladies and gentlemen, to announce, yes, your Women's Arms Executive, your President, Dr. Julie Dubois, your Vice President would be Miss Jeanette James. All right. Secretary, Miss Lorraine Gibbs. Your Treasurer would be Miss Monique Cummins. PRO, Miss Erica Copin. And your floor members would be Mrs. Rosalind Felix, Miss Jacqueline Lawrence, Miss Jacinta Livingston, and Miss Shellyan Briefboy. All right. So, ladies, yesterday, congratulations on having selected your members for your Women's Arm. So, General Convention is over. Youth Convention is over. Women's Arm is over. They only had asked for 1. They got 3 back to back to back. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are geared and we're ready. I want to inform each and every one of you guys to continue to be at every event that we're having. Yes, I'm getting to interact and meet a lot of you guys out there. Yes, so don't forget this one. All right. You know, normally we do our ads prior. So don't forget Big King and Friends present Hangover, Alcohol, Music and Vibes and You on Sunday the 30th of March. 2025 is only $75. That includes food. It is the third edition. About the Rum Runner 2. Boarding time would be from 12. Sailing time is from 1. Music by Andy Links. Graphic song, DJ Javon and DJ Jani. You can call Baking on 0637. Devon on 417-2147. And Kendall on 417-2210. All right. It's the weekend Big Slice promotion on Saturday the 19th. They present Bingo, Raffle and Dance, $6,000 jackpot, $2,500 Caribbean Stag will be on sale and on special for 3 for 12, 1 for 5 through the entire bingo. All right, they're raffling a TV also, so the bingo tickets are $25. Raffle will be $20. The dance will be $10. All right. Music by DJ Smiley. Fishman Jr., that would be at Brownies Hideaway in Willis. It starts at 6:30. All right. Steffo Promotion, she presents Fishman Hawaiian Boat Ride. That would be on the 23rd of March. And so you can be aboard the Embassy, boarding time from 1, sailing from 2, music by Graphics, Roots song, Fearless Kevon, DJ Ice, Selector Shakim. Ticket outlet, you can call Steffo on 419-1683. Sugar Palace Players Bar, Licks and Bites and Guava and Fishman on 414-5474. And also, next Friday, the New National Party After Work Lime takes place at the headquarters. Yes, so you can also be a part of this event that will be happening. Also, we have Revo Dance at the end of the event. I'll make sure I play the audio. Yes, so you can also get an update as it relates to that. Information. Jumping into our information very early. From the petroleum product prices, the general public is hereby informed that effective Tuesday, the 18th of February 2025, the retail prices for petroleum products, gasoline, diesel, kerosene, and other petroleum gas, LPG, commonly known as cooking gas, in the state of Grenada will be as follows. Gasoline, the old price was $14.09. The new price would be $14.72, an increase of 63 cents. Diesel, which was $13.63, it is now $14.84, an increase of $1.16. Kerosene, $10.22, it is now $10.87, an increase of 65 cents. Right? Your LPG gas, the 20-pound cylinder, it remains at $40. There was no changes to that. The 100-pound cylinder, which was $226.55, it is now $233.90, an increase of $7.35. Bulk, it was $2.35. It is now $2.40, an increase of 5 cents. I don't know what is going on with me this afternoon. Take your time, Prince. All right. In terms of Carrick 1 PD Martinic, the 20-pound cylinder remains at $49. The 100-pound cylinder, it was $249.55. It is now $256.90, an increase of $7.35. The bulk also moving from 35 to 240, an increase of 5 cents. All right. So please be mindful that these changes will be happening from tomorrow. Yes, so there is a price change in our gasoline starting tomorrow. All right. So let's jump into information, ladies and gentlemen. And let's jump into some information. And I want to start today by reminding some of you guys as it relates to when persons are the ones exalting the New National Party, God would have put in them good words. Yeah? Very good words. Somebody was saying in the comment section, they were asking when we have convention, within 3 months, they get 3 successful conventions. They can even have a quarter of a convention. All right? When persons were surveying the New National Party, they uttered these great words, and it's still, I wanted to lament with many of you guys still, because it is still the words that is true. Yes? Let me play those words for you.
I am happy to serve with the New National Party. I tell you this, the experience of this party is about more than 200 years of experience collectively. But we will make it because we will choose serious people to run this country. And the New National Party has proven itself through Ivan and through Emily, through COVID-19 and through all of the crises.
So ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't my words, and it's words that still resonate with us. And I want this to be words that we can speak everywhere we go through the length and breadth of Grenada. That the New National Party is still the party. Not a one-off. It is not a one-off. Yes, it is still the party. All right? We also want to say from the New National Party perspective, all eyes are on Dash and Blackadan at the Ultimate Soca Champion Finals. Let's bring the unstoppable energy and share them to victory. Come out strong, Grenada. So that we want to extend that also from the New National Party point of view. Yes, so we want to also recognize our artists that is down Trinidad, and they are doing what they can. All right. Also, Kelvin Warren Thomas, a 2-year-old who is in urgent need of medical treatment. You guys can reach out to them and you can still make your donations at the event yesterday, the convention. The collection was made. I think you can call 535-2110 or 420-4314. So if you want to extend any assistance, you can do so. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to zero in on a conversation that we would have been hearing within the past few weeks and months and days. Not months, but days. For the past few days. But it was a conversation that had been going on for months. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to first touch on a status that was posted by a member of the National Democratic Congress. And the status, ladies and gentlemen, was basically debunked by the leader himself. So we need not to go into it in depth. Yes, but the status was made by Minister Andy Williams. And if you permit me, I would want to read that status. Yes, I want to read that status for you. Folks, be focused. Sometimes you have to sit back and listen to those who want this government to fail before responding. Truth is, this NDC administration is doing much better job of managing our economy than the previous administration. Let me take that again. Truth is, the NDC administration is doing a much better job of managing our economy than the previous administration. See from internal organization report. Reference the IMF and the World Bank report. Economics 101. I'll break it down to the simplest form. If you have $10,000 in the bank, would you withdraw the $10,000 and buy a house, leaving you with zero? I'll stop there for now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is from the minister who made the Grenadian public know that he has never in his entire life as a minister of government has never came up with an initiative. This is a minister of government who, prior to taking office or ministerial role, ran a business that didn't even have stock taking. This is an individual whom we know for months in Grenada as it relates to information. When it comes to him and accounting, there is always some misinformation as it relates to his accounts. So when he spoke on this, and I read it, I laughed. But then one of my goodly friends posted this not too long after by his political leader. And he said this.
Saying that you have a good report from the IMF doesn't mean anything. The statement was simply, frankly, a regurgitation of what was told to the IMF by the government of Grenada. Saying that you have a good report from the IMF doesn't mean anything. The statement was simply, frankly, a regurgitation of what was told to the IMF by the government of Grenada. Report from the IMF doesn't mean anything. The statement was simply, frankly, a regurgitation of what was told to the IMF by the government of Grenada.
So, ladies and gentlemen, remember last year, sometime last year, the NDC goons, they beat their chest. They were in glee when they got the report from the IMF and World Bank and all these things. You remember that? When they exalted the employment and all this. And now, those people are bewildered because here is the political leader saying to them, what is IMF report? IMF report is information that government give to the IMF. So it's a simple regurgitation of the information. So it doesn't have to be accurate. It doesn't have to be accurate. And so this is the words of the political leader and prime minister of today. So I believe he himself debunked the statement of the minister. Yeah? He himself debunked it, so I don't need to go into it. Right? So I want to jump into some further information. And it requires maths. And let me start off by saying this. I am not in total disagreement. I would never be if a political organization, an administration, a government decides to do some form of borrowing towards their budget. I have no issue with that. You understand me? I have no issue with that. Now, what I have an issue with is the reports that we as a people would have had from this present administration, this present government, as it relates to their monetary and money position. Yes? Now, taking an extract, just a little bit, from a post made by Sister Linda Straker. Let me read, and I quote, Grenada has 54.6 million in the contingency fund at the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. That fund received the government deposit of 10% from the monthly revenue inflow onto the National Transformation Fund of the Citizen by Investment Program. The revenue of the government for the year 2024 through the CBI program was 472,9,801.142, according to the recent data released by the Investment Migration Agency, the agency responsible for administering the CBI program. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is more than $400 million we're talking about. This is more than $400 million. And this is from, ladies and gentlemen, one entity. This is from one entity we're talking about here. We are speaking as it relates to only the CBI program. Now, if an administration boasts as it relates to that kind of income, I am reluctant to accept you telling me thereafter that you're looking to borrow $725 million. Going further afield and wanting to touch on a different conversation, this administration is one that speaks to every success that they would have had as it relates to money and revenue collection. Now let's speak as it relates to Hurricane Beryl. Now, if the hurricane would have somewhat trickled last year's budget somewhat. So take it to mean that our expenditure last year that was expected to be $50 million dollars was tipped a little bit by the hurricane. This administration would have collected so much funding as it relates on the name of that natural disaster, Hurricane Beryl. So take it to mean that the hurricane would have taken away 40 to 60% of the nation's spending. You would have received at least 80% of that back. Follow me here, ladies and gentlemen. If the allocated funding was $50 million and Beryl came and they had to spend $40 million, I am saying to you, based on donations that was made to Grenada alone, based on just speaking as it relates to the CREF collection of funding, this political administration that is governing our state would have collected in excess of $100 million or more, including CREF and every other donation. So you hear them slightly blaming Beryl for the late reading of the budget and all these things. My question is, why would an administration who boasts as it relates to all this income, and I'm talking one entity of CBI, and that is where my problem lies. I am not saying that previous administration have never done it. I am not saying that. But my question is, what is the purpose thereof? What is the purpose thereof for an administration that speaks to that kind of collection of the state funding? Because we have not seen capital projects. We have not seen the millions of investors or thousands of investors investing wherever in that miraculous place in Grenada. We are not seeing them. So my question lies on one thing. Why are we borrowing that amount? I am not against the borrowing. I want to know why. And my why falls basically on the notion that this is an administration that boasts of over $400 million collected in just one program. In just one program. We are speaking only the CBI program. The figure that I just gave to you came from only one. I am not speaking yet tax collection and all these things on them. I have not gone into that. The CBI program alone, the CBI program alone goes well into $725 million. So what was the revenue collected? What has happened to the revenue collected in the state for the past year, or maybe for the year so far? This is an administration without any form of specific allocation said that they started the year with $400 million given away. So the state only knows that this administration has allocated $400 million to start the year. To what? Only God knows. Only God knows. So as I said, I am not against if government is wishing to take a loan to aid, and maybe governments before have done it, and maybe it was not publicized. But we have not seen anything drastic, any positive movement to show that this administration is an administration that will be able to suffice this loan. And that is where my other issue comes up. So all this lavish spending, all this traveling, all these delegations of persons going here and there, because we are seeing it. We are seeing it, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening right before our very own eyes. It is happening in front of us. And I am amazed that we are not speaking out on those issues. But this weekend, I had to touch on one really quickly, because I honestly believe that at this stage, there is a set of persons, I should say, that have been around the New National Party, and their full intention is to deface the NNP. But like they just forget. And one such person would have spoken this week. And I had to debunk the statement immediately. Because at the end of the day, you can't tell me what was not accepted 5, 10, 15 years ago has all become accepted now. All of a sudden, it is the best thing. Because before, when you were part of the New National Party, we did it in 2008. We are basically seeing, ladies and gentlemen, the same thing that would have happened before happening again. This is what we're seeing. So I want to play this one here, and then I want to read something.
Figure and local economist Anthony Botswain has responded to Finance Minister Honorable Dennis Cornwall's announcement on Tuesday that the government plans to borrow over $700 million to fund the 2025 budget. Cornwall explained that the borrowing is necessary to support upcoming development projects and that the government will increase its use of the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange (ECSE) by auctioning more treasury bills. Botswain described the move as a common practice and commended the government's decision, emphasizing the importance of funding critical development and infrastructure initiatives.
First of all, I applaud the government on this bold initiative, and I will tell you why. In any budget, the first thing we have to be concerned about is the government current operations. Yeah. If the government is generating what they call a current surplus, that is to say, its current revenue is in excess of current expenditure, that is good. If it is in the other way around, I would say, hey, we're heading in the wrong direction. On the capital side, the public sector investment program is what drives economic growth and development in any country. You look at China, look at any country that has developed, and you will see that a robust public sector investment program is key. When you look at Grenada right now, the last budget, $400 million, that is chicken feed in order to bring the infrastructure in Grenada up to a standard where we can say, well, yes, we could keep it or other regional countries.
While the announcement has sparked questions and concerns, Botswain believes the only concern lies in the terms and conditions of the borrowing.
Yeah? So the government going out to borrow $700 million. The first thing I would like to know before I could give a final comment on what terms and conditions. And that is what we have to look at.
No, I want to pause this there. you see, as I say, we jump to what we want to say to make another person look bad so immediately. So this is redundant because you started by saying this.
Economist Anthony Botswain has responded. Cornwall explained its use by all as a common initiatives.
First of all, I applaud the government.
So you applaud the government on the initiative taken. You applaud them without even not being aware, and then you come back and you say that thereafter. You're not making sense. Why are you saying that then?
On highly concessionary terms, if that is the case, this is good, and I owe $700 million. The first thing I would like to know before I could give a final comment on what terms and conditions. And that is what we have to look at.
No, I want to pause this there. You see, as I say, we jump to what we want to say to make another person look bad so immediately. So this is redundant because you started by saying this.
$700 million. could give a final comment on what terms and conditions.
But you gave your final comment. You're commending the government on the borrowing. You are commending them on the borrowing without even knowing the terms and conditions. Without even being aware as it relates to the terms and conditions. You're commending the government. So you commended them, and then you want to say, well, first of all, you want to know on what terms and conditions is the loan taken. But you commend them already. So why you don't know the terms and conditions. You applaud them, and then now you want to know after you have applauded them. So what is the applaud? Why you applauded them in the first place when you did not know? Stay woke, people.
And that is what we have to look at. Is the government borrowing its funds on highly concessionary terms? If that is the case, this is good, and I wish they could borrow even more. Yeah? Because you look around. Our infrastructure is in a dilapidated state. You look at our city fences. You look at the carnage. You look at so many areas that need significant development. Why?
And I pause in him again. So you see, there is infrastructural relapse in the state. Yeah, a 2.5 going to 3 years government that met a pregnant treasury. Yeah, those are persons who are rubbing shoulders with these fellas. And they have been seeing those issues within the state. But instead of speaking up on those issues, himself and others, they're making people believe that NNP is the worst. So they sat there and they know those issues are happening. Yeah? So the infrastructure is bad, the city fence is bad, all these things are bad. And you hear them saying it now. You hear them? They know it is bad. But in order to paint a picture for NNP to look bad, they don't care about state. You feel a business about state? They are not concerned about state because they're part of the narrative that the intention is to just make NNP look bad. So as a past politician, a past minister of government, you sat there for how much? Years, months. We're going on 3 years. And this is the first time we're hearing that statement being made. And I want persons to hear you make it.
You look at our city fences. You look at the carnage. You look at so many areas that need significant development.
Significant. You hear? You hear the word? Significant. So they know there is a problem in the state. They are aware. They know. They are aware. Past politicians, past parliamentary representatives, they are aware that there is problem in the state and almost 3 years administration. And this wasn't happening today. You spoke as it relates to $400 million allocated last year, which is chicken change. So you are aware that government did not do a proper budget last year as it relates to the expenditure of the state. You are aware. Here you saying in the statement that $400 million is chicken change. So the government allocated funding last year was not intended for development of the state and did not meet that criteria. But you didn't open your mouth and say anything. They just put a foot in their mouth in different times. You have to give them time. Give them rope. Because they don't have no other choice but to speak on it. They know those things are happening. Go on, we're listening.
Why are we making a fuss about government's desire to develop? If you are concerned about the government's current spending, I will be with you. But when it comes to the capital expenditure, that is the public sector investment program, which is the government's current spending, I will be with you. But when it comes to the...
So right, stick up in there again. He says, if you're speaking as it relates to the to the government current spending, he's going to agree. So again, he's in agreement that the present spending of this administration is poor. Here you see him saying it. Say it again.
About government's desire to develop.
Say it again.
If you are concerned about the government's current spending, I will be with you.
So this is a gentleman, an economist, who is aware that within the state right now, this present administration expenditure and spending is ridiculous. Here is him saying it. Tell all the others, listen different from all you. And us listen to word that is not being said. And us listen to things that is not being said. When you listen to them carefully. So imagine this. And I said to you, NNP start to make noise about the $725 million. But those are persons who sat aside or continue to sit aside and watch the relapse of this administration, and they're saying nothing unless NNP open their mouth. And in order to make NNP look bad, oh, what is the big fuss about? But you can mention that the infrastructure in the state is bad. You can mention that the budget allocated last year was chicken change. You can mention that the government expenditure is too much. You're in agreement of these three things. You are aware that this is happening. But I'm not hearing you speaking up about it. You're not opening your voice about it. I am not hearing you going at them and telling them better, like how they does interview Brother Tobias ever so often. Because all your intention is one thing: make NNP look bad. They keep leaving, and all the problems in the state that is happening, they are not addressing it. They are addressing NNP, an opposition party. They're not addressing the issues. First one leave. Oh, they want to work together with the present senator within the constituency. What are we hearing now? What are we hearing now? See false shitting and you think it's egg. Because at the end of the day, whenever they leave the new national party, they can't leave gingerly, you know. They have to leave with the intention to make NNP look bad. Look at how much of them that leave already. If there were anything so corrupt and so ill-mannered and ill-disciplined and off within this political administration, the way they hate NNP now, a lot of people would have known what's going on inside NNP. But they left, and they left with nothing and no information. And maybe if you meet them, you will say, me, I don't want to cause no eruption. I'm causing the eruption. I go leave people and they don't like me, and I don't make them, they're making me look bad, and I'm not making them look bad. Go and finish up your statement, sir.
But when it comes to the capital expenditure, that is the public sector investment program, which is to drive economic growth, both in the public sector and the private sector. I welcome the government decision to borrow once it is on highly concessionary terms.
Cornwall made the announcement after revealing the date for the reading of the 2025 budget will be pushed back from December 2024 to March 7th, 2025, primarily due to the passage of Hurricane Beryl. I
don't want to hear more. I jump in on him. No, again, I go in. IMF meet members of the opposition September 29, 2010. Former Minister of Finance, Honorable Anthony Bosing, headed by the opposition team, which met with a 4-member delegation from the International Monetary Fund last Monday. And this is dated the 29, 2010. Mr. Bosing expressed concern about the state of Grenada economy, noting that there may be no growth in the economy as projected by the Minister of Finance earlier this year. He indicated that the international recession is having its negative effect on Grenada, but the current local crisis is largely attributed to the government's policy and its poor management of country. Mr. Boston said that he is extremely concerned about the rising unemployment and cost of living. Same thing happening now. He said while Grenadians are finding it difficult to find jobs and meet the daily needs, the government continues to delay the start of major projects still happening in Grenada, like the farm roads project to undertake by CCC, then CCC. the Greater Grenville Project events, the athletic stadium, the construction which can be significantly bring an employment opportunities. This is Mr. Boson in 2010 on the 2008 NDC administration. Boson also expressed concern about the government spending pattern. He's doing it again in 2025 and he's in agreement. He highlighted to a massive increase of spending on overseas travels. This is 2010, I'm reading here. This is 2010. Yes, the expansion of public service and significant increase in the wage bill to facilitate a few political activists of the NDC in 2010. This is Mr. Boson saying that. And you hear people still regurgitating that information today. One by Tuftenall for millions of dollars. Other persons been given projects and different security firms all over the place. On our very own wage bill. He said that all that is happening at the expense of the poor and vulnerable and at the time when the country could least afford it. The former finance minister also commented on 2 stimulus packages announced by government and noted that the measure announced will not be able to make a serious dent in the current economic crisis faced by Grenada. He said the government need to take urgent steps to address economic situation in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the same man that went to the IMF, dated the 29th, 2010, and spoke on those issues that we can relate to today, issues that many persons, as it relates to expenditures, projects that were started and have not been completed, projects that have been started, allocated fundings, $9 million allocated. By the time the project done, you hear $17 million that was spent. You are agreeing to the state. You are agreeing. You are agreeing that the expenditure of the state is lavish. You are seeing it. You are seeing it. Those things are happening in the same Grenada. In the same Grenada. But today, you're in agreement. You're seeing the lavish spending, the excessive spending. You're seeing infrastructural damages that need significant uplifting. You're seeing excessive travel. You're seeing the same NDC goons getting all the kind of big shot things. It is happening in 2025. You met with IMF on similar issues in 2010. And there were issues. Why isn't the issue right now? The poor and vulnerable again? No. No. You were interviewed on this conversation because persons know that you have the vast knowledge in economics. And so that is why you were interviewed. That is why you were interviewed. And so the same expectation, the same energy we were expecting you to have on the issues that you mentioned there, high-heartedly. They didn't want to do it, but they come out. And this is why we have programs like this, to break down conversations like this. Because they have a tendency to talk on the side of their mouth. Come out and speak of the lavish spending. Come out, let us hear it. Stop only sit down there and hear, oh, the NNP party had issues, and Dr. Mitchell, and Dr. Mitchell, and Dr. Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell did the same place with you. Rested and well-bounded. Oh, you won't give up in leadership, you won't give it up. He give it up. I would like to take a nice little extract from Sister Jenny's program last week. This one really had me because I didn't catch it very early. But Sister Jenny compliments Cyber says, listen this one here.
So I was saying I saw the Minister of Finance in his own press conference. can't even tell us the theme properly without making a mistake. A word that have no connection to the whole thing.
The national budget will be presented on Friday, March 7th, under the theme Towards Vision 75, Grenada Resilient and Rising.
He has it written down in front of him and stuttered through the rest of the thing and can't answer any question to the fullest when asked by the lone media personnel that was there asking questions. I don't know, the press secretary said she see MTV and she saw GBN and she saw Nisha Paul. Nobody else asked questions. Thank God for Linda Stricker this week, and they're still cussing.
Minister, did we have time to get the $1 million that was promised to us through USAID following the passage of Beryl?
I wouldn't want to say yes at this moment because, again, I know we got funding from them in the early stages and so on. I'm not sure it's up to the $1 million, but I think we would have gotten some funding from them. I can't confirm it's $1 million or not. I would have to get my accountant general to confirm the figures that we got.
She saved the day. She was the only person there asking questions in that conference.
So how you could tell me this is an administration that is ready to present a budget to the state? Because, let me say to you, this is information that must be forehand with 1 month away. You must have all your monies that was given, revenue that was collected, whatever it is. This is information that you're going to have a press conference as your Minister of Finance within the state. I don't think you all understand the seriousness of this, I don't think you all are grasping the seriousness of this administration and understanding how not ready they are in terms of the people's business. These people are not ready for the people's business. I cannot understand why we are not seeing what is going to happen here sooner or later. Because you can't say to me, you speak about increasing employment. You speak about tax collection. You speak about CBI collection. You spoke so many donations that was given. So many things that you are speaking about or you would have spoken about within the past year or so. Why must I agree on you stating, and as the example given, Economics 101? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, life is about biting what you can chew. Putting your heart where your hand can reach. And as I read earlier on with what Mr. Williams would have said, Economics 101, you could see he doesn't know anything about economics. And their intention is simply to spend. They don't know how to minimize, they don't know how to focus on what is important. Because if you have $100,000 in the bank, ladies and gentlemen, and you understand as somebody who has to service a family, a business, you need to understand when to either trickle down, whether or not you need to prioritize, and what you need to prioritize. So your intention might have been to build a $98,000 house. But on realizing the finances that you're working with, you need to either drift back and see whether or not, listen to me, I know it's a $100,000 house I want, but at this stage, I would have to take it at 65. And that is economics. That is what you call budgeting. You don't just go and use the whole 100,000. Economics 101 with foot. Because anybody that has maths head and sense and understands spending and budgeting must understand that if you have $100,000, you won't take out $100,000 in the bank. What you would have to do is be able to allocate the funding needed for which you as the individual or individuals should be able to breathe that limit. So I want to buy a cup. The cup is $10. If I go and buy it for $10, the big cup that I want, I really can't get it right now. What do? I trickle down. I buy one for $5. Yes? And if it means that in that cup I have to get 5 bottles of water, yes, at $1, it means that if it takes me now selling it for $1.10, that is what I would have to do. At the end of the day, we need to understand these things. If not, do I really need the cup? Must I really focus on the cup? Or must I focus on coming up with a way to finance, or some other way for me to finance to get a cup? So, ladies and gentlemen, the thing about it is being patient and waiting as to what would be unfolded. What would be unfolded as it relates to the expenditure within our country. Yes, it is important. It is important to note that. Somebody is saying in the comment section, royalty, it is amazing how a lot of folks who were looked up to over the years have become afflicted with a bout of politically inspired dotishness. Yeah? I understand where you're speaking from. So you realizing that you just had a hurricane. You remember when they had, when Dr. Mitchell had to say, we can't give no increase. We can't give no increase. Remember when Dr. Mitchell and them had to make that hard decision? Yes. We can't do anything in terms of extra spending. And so we need to do something that will be able to boost our economy, and then thereafter we can meet with every other thing. It was a package. Well, the stimulus, was it the stimulus? What was the package again? Something Dr. Mitchell, and then I remember it being done for about 2 years or 3 years. You need to set aside the fact that you cannot meet it. You did all the bad things already. You don't spend lavishly. You are spending lavishly. And as Mr. Bosin would have said, what is the terms and condition? Although he agreed before knowing it. What is the terms and condition? On what basis? On what level? What is the expectation of this? And so we acknowledge the fact that this is an administration that have done lavish spending. And so you believe no. You believe no. And going to Economics 101. A man have $100,000. Yeah. But the bank is aware that he has not been saving. And that $100,000 might have just gotten there. Now, when government is giving you the conditions, realizing that you, based on what you're showing me here, you're spending no good, you know. And the IMF and other World Bank will be looking at that. They'll be looking at the CBI program, your revenue, income, and so on. They would want to know, if I'm giving you $700 million and you have to repay me, I have to look at your business. I have to look at how you've been running things. I have to look at whomever they're lending from. I have to look at how you're running things. I want to see whether or not, when I lend you my money, you would be one of the persons that could be able to give me back. And give me back in a timely manner. And give me back and meet the criteria as it relates to how I want it back. So there is so many to consider, ladies and gentlemen. So many to consider. And we are not going to sit back and watch what is happening because of what this administration has said to us.
Finance in his own press conference.
They have boasted as it relates to what they have collected and when they would have collected it. All these things. All the numbers are there. So please don't come and give us now this kind of, Hurricane Beryl and Hurricane Beryl and Hurricane Beryl. Stop putting Sister Beryl in all your thing. Stop it now. Because I am certain that at the assessment of damage, and we have not, I don't know if I could get it, because I want it. I want the assessment of damage. Whether or not it touch $1 billion. Or is it $500 million? Because I know we have received a significant amount of funding in this state. Even the NNP supporters had no other choice to say they know you have money in the treasury. You guys are not budgeting and allocating properly. Too much of lavish and useless spending. Nothing is being prioritized. A set of jump around, a set of fun, a set of puppy show. And so we have to reach to the point now of asking. We're not saying that, no one is not saying that you shouldn't ask. But we should not have reached to the point of asking. You should not have reached to the point of asking. $500 million. You boasted you met in the treasury. 2 years or so thereafter, a hurricane passed. So you're saying to me, if the hurricane passed, would I be better off? It damages Sister Isle, the smaller part of the islands. The smaller part of the tri-island state. Well, if 123 square miles were damaged, when we would have read budget in September? And you guys have boasted that, oh, Carriacou is well being developed and all these things. So who fooling who? Who fooling who? Ladies and gentlemen, we implore of you guys to stay awakened. Go through past budgets. Understand expenditure. Understand it. Understand it. Because mind you, don't surprise that NNP get blamed for this budget, you know. I won't put it against them. I won't put it against them that they blame NNP for this budget. You have to be able to understand what this is. This is not the first time it have happened. We know government do borrow. People borrow. People borrow. People loan. But you have to do so on the basis of you having, you ladies and gentlemen, having that ability to spend and understand your spendings. See a man driving car, he fetting, he drunk, he there all over the place. I am standing there and then he come and he asks me, boss, give me $500. I am going to be reluctant. I am going to be reluctant. Because I'm watching you spending, I'm watching you doing and living a lavish life. I am of the opinion that you're well off. So ladies and gentlemen, we need to pay attention and stay woke. Stay with your eyes open and your eyes peeled as it relates to what is going on. Don't forget the opportunity is still there for you guys to become members of the new National Party. You guys have opportunity to tell your young folks to go get registered, canvass and campaigning, hit the ground in your different constituencies, do the walk through. Our political leader is doing the work that they are not doing. 2 minutes, she start to make a too little work and then they sweating in St. David's and in St. Patrick's East and West. Because now I understand they get a warning that if they don't start to get the work done, they may not see a next general election. And so the problem is not NNP. They have to start doing the work within the constituency, but too late because, ladies and gentlemen, the new National Party has started this mission even when they were sitting back and ball. What are they doing there? What are they having meetings so? Election is tomorrow? to get better in a fight is not to train on the night. Yeah? To get better in a fight is not to start training on the night. Takes a series, take a time to master the art. Yeah? So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's programming, and it definitely was a pleasure being in your company. As per usual, it is always a pleasure to be here. To the persons out there in New York City, you guys have this one coming up here.
21 years of greatness, and this year won't be any different as New Face Promotion presents Revo Dance 21, going down Saturday 15th March at the Caribbean Breeze, 176 Belmont Avenue. Doors open at 10 p.m. From Grenada, Select a Beast, and Dr. Dre from Power 95. Look out for Team Greens from Montreal, Canada, Queen the Fire, Naughty Vibes, and One Drop. Advanced early bird tickets cost $45 before February 15th, $50 after. More at the door. Get your tickets now from Pierre de Barber, 1055 Rutland Road, West Cuisine, Clarkson, 916 Clarkson Avenue, or Spice Up Market, 899 Clarkson Avenue. Tables and birthday packages are available. Zelle or Cash App accepted. For more info, call 347-304-5453. So on Saturday, March 15, get ready for an unforgettable night. It's Revo Dance 21.
Yes, to the persons out there in New York, you guys can go and be a part of this one. Fingers crossed. You might see me. Fingers crossed. You never know. Yeah, fingers crossed. Yes, as I said, it was definitely a pleasure being in your company again for another class in session program. Get you right back here again tomorrow. Yes, and nowadays I would be informing you guys when I'll be here the day before. Yeah, I want to get that correct. Yeah, so I'll be back here again tomorrow. Yes. I am supposed to attend a funeral on Thursday, on Wednesday, I believe. I get the date and everything correct, and once I do, then I'll inform you guys. But definitely, we're back here again tomorrow, another class in session program, and I want you guys to continue to share the love in Carriacou on Carnival Saturday in Carriacou. The team have already invited me for a breakfast they will be having in Carriacou, so I might just come up there for a day or two. Yes, I don't think I will stay for the entire Carnival season, but as you guys call me, I'm going to be there. All right, so the persons out there in Carriacou and PD Martinique, and again, thank you guys so very much for joining down to Grenada yesterday to be part of the Women's Arm. The new National Party stands on a solid foundation as an administration. I am sound as it relates to that. I don't know how many of you guys have gone to the different events that we have had so far, conventions, the way they happen, the organization, the planning, the execution, they happen so, so easily. Yes, even when the events are finished, but yesterday was the first time I stayed thereafter at the conclusion of an event, and by the time we were over, banners were done, persons are ready, buses are outside. By the time we got outside, about 20 to 25 minutes after the event, myself and some other folks, there were only one person outside. And the person said that they were waiting for a personal transport. One person. Because the buses were ready. The different persons made their calls. It's just a lovely flow. And a set of love. A set of love up. I love all you these NNB people. I set a love up when we meet. Persons were, hey, royalty. And I set a hug up. Yeah, I love the vibe, and we have to continue the energy. We have to start hitting the ground solid. The youth arm, on the behalf of the youth arm, young persons within different constituency, get in contact with us. Whatever constituency you are, call either the main office, ask to speak to your caretaker or whoever it is, parliamentary rep. They would put you on to somebody within the youth arm. Amanda, Evot, Tariq, myself, Jessica, is a set of us. Yeah? And we are often at every event. You would see the youth arm at every event. We normally doing the registration and so on. So if you did not get us and you want to maybe speak to us when you see us at an event, feel free, come and chat with us. All right? And we are going to continue to do the works in which we would be reclaiming governance, here in this beautiful tri-island state called Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Martinique. Have yourself a wonderful, 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 wonderful evening, and we'll see you again tomorrow. My name is Royalty James, and it was a pleasure being in your company for another evening.
I'm going to do a song called JM. Make some noise for Glow!
You make peace. Since Wednesday night, I'm feeling so happy. Since the charge Monday, I feel like if I win the lottery, I could brag and boast, cause all of you don't know, I am the prophet in Kaiso. Just last year I did tell all you, they would have locked up his backside for true. These people thief all the money, they vacuum the whole treasury. So if all you're against corrupting, sound your voice, let me hear you say, Panday, the jail is waiting. Panday, all your thief, enough. Corruption in US is too everything that already. Your father call us next to go. So we abandon ship, we not staying on it. And very slow, Panday no, in the jail you have to go. You big thief. If your little child come home from school spotting a diamond, you ought to ask the child, where you get that from? And if you ain't do that and wait until the police come, then the police will carry the whole family down. It doesn't lie too much, but they be afraid to say it. Since when you know that overwork in some way, but you feel that nigga stupidity, shut the dancers don't work for that kind of money. My predictions does always come to pass. I know they don't lock up you. Panday, the jail is waiting. Panday, all you take enough. Corruption in US is too much thing that already. Your bank got concrete in hold. So we abandon ship, we not staying on it. And very slow, Panday no, this election you've got to go. When I see Bass and Ramesh talking like friends, I tell me children, the world will come into an end. Because it's Bass who say Ramesh is Nimakaram, and it's Ramesh who say Bass is laced with corruption. The only thing them two could discuss is which one of them going to jail first. I hear he went to Guyana, buy them back to look for Obia, 300,000 in fish eaten the last month, and